Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're taking a look quickly here at 3 different coins, mostly just trying to identify dollar cost average targets. I like to do this when the price is coming down. Now, it may not actually happen because Bitcoin could bounce and just take off forever, but for the most part, it's expected for Bitcoin to fill that CME gap at 28,000. At least that's my anticipation. So why not understand when Bitcoin dominance is increasing and the effectiveness of Bitcoin's cost is going down? That really just tells us that a lot of alts are going to get hit hard. So why not dollar cost average and add to your position if that is your goal, right? So that's the whole point. So we're going to cover Algorand, Internet Computer, and Injective here today, just to quickly kind of summarize some of those things. So we'll start with Algorand, of course. Partially because we have a large Algorand supporting community. Thank you again for all of your support. Greatly appreciate that, especially growing the space on Twitter here because we are starting to grow. We're almost at 1,300, and our goal is to, of course, continue to increase over the time here. And if you want to become a better trader, we've got free month giveaways here, essentially for just liking, following, and retweeting our messages. Okay, so be sure to check that out. Appreciate that, of course. Once more, with Algorand, what we want to look at is a couple of quick things here. First of all, we're not going to spend a lot of time on each coin. We're just going to kind of quickly identify certain things and just kind of go from there. And the obvious state of the matter here is that we had a massive sell-off here from Algorand here recently, very large candle wick down. That's roughly 10% in, I think it was like 15, 20 minutes. It was a pretty big sell-off. And good news is it came right down to the support level here at 20 cents and bounced. Okay, so keep in mind it's not going to bounce and just keep going up from here. Most things take a while to recover when they fall that hard, but for lack of better terms here, that's kind of what we're looking at. We also have other supports as well if we reverse our Fibonacci retracement levels. And kind of see here, we're looking at about 18.7 and 18.2. So good dollar cost average targets would be those two ranges there. And if we look at the bigger picture here too, again, the most recent low right here in March is essentially 17.8. But you keep in mind it could come down all the way to 16. So if you have a tertiary target there, you could put it right in the 16.5, 16.4 range and potentially get filled. I'm not speculating it's going to go that low. We should hold at 20 cents. But if not, why not have your limit orders in place? Like me, for example, today, Bitcoin, I was happy to wake up and see I got filled at 29,000, right? I keep adding to my position as the price goes down. That's essentially dollar cost averaging at its best. Okay, so that's what we're looking at here for Algorand. So to summarize, 20 cents would be a good target if you didn't get in there already. 18.8 as well as 18.3. Now again, I'm going up a little bit because anytime you dollar cost average, you want to put it just above that Fibonacci retracement level to ensure that you get filled. All right, so again, that's kind of where we're at there for Algorand. Next up is an Internet Computer. Obviously, we're seeing a massive sell-off here today. Pretty par for the course considering it was overextended going into that. I covered this yesterday, kind of letting you know that, hey, we got a strong resistance there at about the 725 mark, and it should reject and come back down. It did. But of course, a lot of this has to do with Bitcoin dominance increasing, altcoin dominance decreasing, and the price of Bitcoin coming down. You got to think about that. If Bitcoin price is decreasing and the dominance is increasing, what's happening to alts? All the profits from alts is getting taken and it's being put right back into Bitcoin. That's why we're seeing some support at that 29,000 range, but it shouldn't hold because there's a lot of selling pressure. Either way, that being said, we want to take a look at some dollar cost average targets here. Typically, when you look at DCA targets, you can look at Elliott wave. This doesn't really tell us a tremendous amount here because I was looking at this earlier on the larger time frames. Essentially, we are here at this ABC pattern, right? There's no D, of course, but generally speaking, if it were to come all the way back down to its starting point at 1, you'd see about $3.50. I do not speculate that's the case. Elliott wave is not 100%, just kind of gives you understanding that there could be a further down wave here that should establish a lower low, which could imply that it could just consolidate at the 450 range, right? But once again, dollar cost average targets on the way down, the best ones to shoot for, in my opinion, when we have larger increases like this, is a halfway point. That's a good starting point. So $5.95 would be a good DCA target. We also have $5.65 as a secondary. That's 0.5 and 0.618. Those are very strong targets. And again, you got to keep in mind that they have these support levels, right? This previous resistance at 0.618 is going to be a new support level. So I think the price action at 565 or lower is less likely. I have my DCA targets at 565 and 595. Okay, so that's where ICP or Internet Computer is looking at right now. Taking a look at Injective here, the last one for the day, we can kind of see here, of course, that the price action is big surprise coming down. We expect this for some time. But when it comes to the DCA targets, we can take a quick look here, and this is where things get pretty interesting. Okay, so what we can do is we can go ahead and draw out some new Fibonacci retracement levels, You can kind of see here what that looks like, because again, the 0.382, 0.5, and 0.618 are the most common characteristics for retracement. And as we can see, we already hit our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern here for Elliott wave on Injective. That being said, we're looking for an ABC pattern to the downside. And what that just means, we're going to see lower lows, followed by lower highs, followed by lower lows. That's a very common characteristic in this retracement pattern. That being said, Fibonacci retracement levels, again, for the win, essentially are coming through here. So we're looking at DCA targets of about $7.55, $6.80, and then of course the tertiary target there, most amount of volume support you could say, is right there at about $6.05. So those are the three targets I would recommend shooting for here for Injective. And just keep in mind too, this would be the first leg down. There could be a second and third, right? Because the ABC pattern does one of these here, where the secondary or tertiary target essentially would be somewhere in this volume profile. Okay, so we have the most amount of volume at this range, therefore that would probably be a likely support. So I would say your third entry target, if you will, or just say the bare bones, if you will, is right around $4.10. Okay, because again, the largest amount of volume accumulation in the last X amount of days is likely going to be a potential support range, and between now and then it's Fibonacci retracement levels. So again, these are the three coins that are most commonly covered here recently. These are the stronger coins that we've noticed, and these are coins that are doing pretty well contrary to Bitcoin. So the reason why I'm covering these isn't just because we have a large amount of people requesting it. It just makes sense that these are coins that are likely to continue to progress and do positive and do very well in the grand scheme of things. So just keep that in mind as well. I'll go ahead and cover other coins. Also, of course, feel free to comment below and make some requests. You can also reach out to me through Twitter, of course. This is kind of our primary thing here. We're trying to grow this Twitter space. So please, again, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, follow the whole 9 yards there. And of course, retweet to this message for a chance to get or become one of our community members here. We got 3 winners chosen weekly, and it's just a really awesome experience to be able to kind of grow the community, help people kind of see what's going on there, and benefit from a lot of those, the trades that we're taking. I mean, if you take a look here, we actually took, 40 some odd percent, 45% from our short in Bitcoin last night in 15 hours. And that's all fully automated through our trading platform that you can use through Telegram, which is referred to as Cornix. It's a really awesome automated trading bot. So really cool stuff there. Be sure to check that out. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. We'll see you on the next one. Take care.